That's right. So yes, at midnight tonight, the second round of sanctions will come into effect, and that will effectively end the U.S. participation in this JCPOA, this Iran deal. From my point of view, I do see that these sanctions will have quite a lot of bite. In particular, of course, it's the oil that is going to be targeted, as well as banking and finance, shipping, ports and port operators. But as I say, it's oil that's the real big one. That accounts for 70% of the Iranian regime's export revenue. So it's really the lifeblood of the whole enterprise there. And from the White House perspective, it's so far so good. Already we've seen, even before these sanctions come into effect in, as you say, about 15 minutes' time, Iranian exports of oil have already dropped 40% in the last 6 months, from 2.5 million barrels per day to 1.5 million barrels per day. So I think from a White House point of view, it's looking good.
And in terms of what happens next from Tehran's point of view, because there's been a lot of hope that the Europeans would be able to step in here, and that this SPV would actually do some good in terms of convincing European companies to continue doing business with Iran. But most of them have serious exposure to the United States. So how real is that hope for Tehran?
To me, the JCPOA is now, it's a corpse. And I think the Europeans I think they will eventually get on board with that idea. As you say, I mean, we've already seen at least 200 explicit confirmations from European companies with big U.S. exposure that say, yes, we are now leaving Iran. But I think it's interesting, there is a consensus, even at the political level, in Europe and at the EU level, on these two key other issues. On the ballistic missiles program and on Iran's regional meddling on its support for terrorist proxies around the region and indeed the globe. So I think now that the US is out of the deal, I think the EU will see that it can have a say and address these other two key issues that the original deal failed to address.
Daniel, we know that President Trump wants to make the world a safer place with this action to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon here. That is also the aim of your organization as well. We have heard some voices warn, though, that this could isolate Iran, perhaps embolden hardliners there, and even make them more motivated in their nuclear pursuits. As we get ever so close to this deadline, when we do hit at the top of the hour here, do you think we are safer? Do you think the odds of Iran getting this nuclear weapon have been reduced as a result of the action?
Well, I see a richer Iran as simply a more dangerous Iran. I mean, since 2012, it's given $16 billion to prop up the Assad regime and to their various partners and proxies in Yemen, in Syria, and in Iraq. You know, it gives $700 million every year to Hezbollah. It gives $100 million every year to Hamas and other Palestinian terrorist groups. So I think the Trump strategy to enact maximum economic pressure is going to make the world safer simply by curtailing the revenues that Iran in turn gives to its terrorist proxies. I think also it's important to recognize that historically Iran does back down. It does back down seldom, but if we see back in the Iran-Iraq War, 1988, it kind of backed down. It makes key policy changes when it's really backed into the corner. Again, in 2003, after the Iraq invasion, you saw the Iranian regime think, oh my goodness, we could be next. Let's change. Let's do something to be more open about what's going on here. And then, of course, under President Obama in 2015, when these sanctions came into effect, again, that led to the JCPOA itself. It brought Iran back to the negotiating table.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.